All right, episode 2. Let's go. Sick of the pundits. I got the title right.
There we go.
Guys, how we
Third
doing?
time's a charm.
Third time's a charm. Indeed. How you doing, guys?
Very good, thanks. Yourself?
Yeah, man. A little bit drunk. Maybe. Don't know. I'm joking, guys. Be serious.
Oh, man. Always entertaining, aren't you, Josh? Always entertaining.
It sounds like you're being
Right, let's get into it.
All right, cool. Let's go.
I want to hear the topics today. I'm curious what we've got cooking
do
up.
we need to quickly introduce ourselves, or are we just assuming everyone knows who we are?
I'm assuming all the 23 people watched the last episode, so hopefully, yeah. We're gonna assume.
Well, if we upload this to YouTube, it's got our names, isn't it?
It doesn't have our names.
Oh,
It doesn't matter, bro. We'll waste the time. Just stop recording. Start again.
All right. Well, welcome to Sick of the Pundits, episode 2. I'm joined today with Alex and Josh.
There we are.
I'll be your host, Louis Mendoza. Today we are covering
Good. This is going well.
the return of the Premiership.
Woohoo! Return of the Prem. Return of the Prem.
Secondly,
I love it.
Bundesliga games from last weekend. Games behind closed doors. Are they interesting us? Manuel Neuer, is he still a top goalkeeper? Jadon Sancho, is the hype justified in this boy? I've got a couple of wild takes. Roberto Firmino, is he fairly or unfairly respected as a Liverpool player? And then we've got a quote from Steve Nicol on the influence regarding two specific players, Xabi Alonso and Jordan Henderson. So a lot to cover today, guys. I hope you are ready and have the energy and have had a few drinks. Clearly one of us has, no names. So this is June, the return of the Prem. Man City versus Arsenal, Aston Villa versus Sheffield United. If City lose and Liverpool win the league. First question, what have we missed about not having the Prem? Alex, you've got two hands up. I'm coming straight to you first.
I've waited all my life.
What are you waiting for?
To lift the Premier. Obviously, I'm not physically lifting the Premier League, but mentally in my head, Liverpool to lift the Premier League, and then obviously the coronavirus very serious. Don't get me wrong, but I have been waiting to lift this Premier League, and I'm ready. And I've been waiting long enough. I'm ready to lift this Premier League. So let's kick it off. Liverpool going to lift the Premier League. Henderson lifting the trophy. I can't wait. It's going to be great. Don't even care about the other game. Just put the Liverpool game on. I just want to watch that. That's all that matters.
Fair enough. Josh, the weekly build-up, the rival fan banter, fantasy football betting. Tell me, what have you missed about Premiership not being played on a weekly basis?
I'm going to touch quickly on the fantasy football betting thing. I was meant to put £10 in the Foxtons Trust thingy-majiggy. Guess what happened? I left Foxtons. Guess what I didn't do? Put in the £10. It's all right. It's okay. It worked out. So
you haven't lost anything or won anything.
There we go.
You're exactly as you are.
Exactly. Because I knew when to hold up and when to fold up, ladies and gentlemen. Moral of that story. Anyway. No, look, obviously, just like Alex, I'm a big Liverpool fan, as you can see, maybe by the shirt. But look, I've missed football so much because we were playing such great football. Obviously, minus the Watford game and maybe the Atletico Madrid game. It's all been really good. It's been really exciting this season. We've been so super efficient. Man City has fallen off. And then, do you know what? You've got teams like Sheffield United and Wolves. I'm interested to see how they finish up. Because imagine if any one of them finished in the Champions League spot. That would be incredible for them. So it's a good time. I can't wait to see what we're doing sort of moving forward. So it's going to be interesting, the Premier League moving forward.
I think, all three of us to obviously see Liverpool lift up that trophy. Other than Liverpool, Are there any other teams you had half an eye on? Any players in particular you're looking forward to watch again? Any teams? Any manager interviews? Josh, I think you mentioned a liking for Sheffield United in the last podcast. Are they a team you want to be watching again, or is there any other team or any other players you've got in mind, other excluding Liverpool FC?
Yeah, definitely. Like I just mentioned, I love Wolves. Wolves won me some money off Alex, so that was good. And like Sheffield United, I've got not a soft spot for them, but it's just they've got a really good working mentality in their team. So I'm looking forward to seeing how they finish up. Looking forward to see West Ham go down. So yeah, I'm not here on West Ham, apart from Shaka Hislop, his time of not taking in that goal. But thank you, Shaka Hislop, for that. But like I said, I think it's going to be interesting to see how the Premier League finishes up, who goes down. And it's going to be interesting to see that Champions League spot, because obviously I feel like Liverpool won the league now, so it's fun.
Cool. Alex, any other non-LFC players?
You know what? No. I don't actually care this season about anyone else. Normally I do, because Liverpool are not top of the league, so you start to look elsewhere to see what else can be entertaining here and there. But to be honest, I don't really care. I've just been watching all Liverpool all season. I've watched other games. Don't get me wrong, I love football. I watch as much football as I can. But in terms of actually caring about the other teams and what they do right now, honestly, I couldn't care less. I just want to lift the Premier League and celebrate that. And I don't care who says that it's an asterisk against this league. We're 25 points clear. We're going to win it anyway. So just give me the Premier League, give me that trophy, and we can move on with our life.
Fair enough. I think in the interest of balance on this podcast, I just want to say, and I know I probably get a bit of criticism for this, but I'm intrigued to see if Bruno Fernandes and Paul Pogba can play together in a midfield for Manchester United.
That's a shout, actually.
That will be interesting, though. Yeah.
I just want to see how the balance works, whether Pogba comes back rejuvenated after injury, and whether he can sort of, if those two can just start clicking together, I do feel United are in a place where they can start challenging again. All right, enough about the Premiership though. Let's move on to Bundesliga and our first topic. Games behind closed doors, are they interesting to you? Josh, are you enjoying having no fans in the stadium as a viewer watching on TV?
Do you know what? I thought it was going to be terrible. I looked at it and I was like, oh mate, it's going to be one of those ones where because I've been to quite a few live games anyway, and I find live games not as interesting, I'll be honest with you. I think the TV does make it so much better. So then when you look at it into the perspective of no fans at all, I was like, oh mate, it's going to be awful. But to be fair, the Germany depends on the games. I think it definitely depends on the game, because the Bayern versus Dortmund game was the game where I was like, this is actually really good football. And this is like, I think I was texting in the group chat, like, this is the first time that I'm really excited to watch football again, because it was just two top teams playing to their absolute maximum. So it was really good to watch.
Cool. Alex, what any negatives with regards watching teams behind closed doors? Is it the same experience, or as Josh says, not? He he prefers being sort of the armchair fan at home. What about yourself?
I guess it's what type of fan you are when it comes to football. Me, I couldn't care less if there was fans in the stand, because I watch football for the game. I love the tactics behind it. I love the strategy behind it. I think all the added stuff is just extras on top. All the banners, all of the confetti and all of that rubbish. I just want to watch the 90 minutes of football and watch which team's better than the other, kind of thing. So even don't get me wrong, the fans is great. It adds to the atmosphere and it makes the game a whole lot better. But it doesn't take anything away from the way I watch football. If it adds to it, it doesn't take anything away. So for me, I'm all for it. It's weird when I hear the speakers go off though, and you hear the cheering. It's like you look in the crowd, there's nothing there. I don't know about that. That's a bit weird for me. I don't think they need that. I don't know. It's just a weird that side of things. But I'm all for games behind closed doors. Yeah, man, get them playing. so that we can watch as fans and just enjoy the game.
Just on a separate note for games behind closed doors, do you guys think home advantage has been lost with there being no more fans? Just to throw in a stat for you, the 27 games, excluding today's weekend match day games, since the start of since Bundesliga games began again, there are only 5 home wins out of 27 games.
Is that it?
So that worked out to 18.5%. Prior to that, the 27 games leading up to before the suspension, there were 8 wins. So it was more of a 29.6 win
big
rate.
drop.
Teams are affected. Is it more an advantage for the away team coming to a home ground without fans now?
I don't know,
Josh?
Sorry, yeah, go on.
I think it is. I think it is a disadvantage because, especially if you look at, like, imagine going to Crystal Palace without the fans. Like, Crystal Palace, I think the fans make it so much more intimidating than actually is playing these guys. I mean, it's a Roy Hodgson team. So I think without the fans, that's going to be a bit more intimidating. I think you look at Old Trafford, the new Tottenham Stadium as well. I think those are the things that make a bigger influence. So, and even Anfield to a certain extent. But I feel like that's going to be the biggest change. I think it does get a little bit more of an advantage for the teams that are going into the away grounds now, to be honest.
It depends, man. You see, with the what's it called? When it comes to the fan side, it's about, like, the lower teams, like you were mentioning, Palace, not like the top tier. They rely on the atmosphere maybe on a home ground.
Yeah.
But I guess if you're a top team, you're going to play your football regardless. So
yeah,
maybe for them sides, like the upper tier of elite football, it don't really matter to them because they'll just play their football. But all the lower teams probably affect them on that level for sure if they're allowed it.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool.
I think
I guess we'll have to see. Like, go on, Josh. Yeah.
Sorry, just really quickly. I think we forgot to mention Tottenham. Tottenham got all their players coming back. Mourinho having Kane, Son, who he didn't really have when he just arrived. I think Tottenham will be a big threat for that. Maybe not the top 4, but maybe that 5th spot. I think Spurs. I think Harry Kane just come out and said they're gonna have to win about 7 or 8 games. So Spurs might be a bit. Have
they got a hard run?
I've not checked their run because I don't care for Spurs. They're too far behind. But I think I never put it past Mourinho to make that happen, to be honest.
No, he's past it. I think he's past it, man. I can't see Tottenham coming back.
I think that's one for a wild take on another pod. So obviously the top 2 squared up last weekend, Dortmund and Bayern. I think you guys were fairly vocal in your assessment of a couple of players who we'll bring up here. I think the first one was Manuel Neuer. I think the question to ask, Alex, is he a top keeper for you? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Reasons why?
Yeah, he's still a top keeper for me, for sure, man, for sure. His distribution was on point. He may have miscued a few passes here and there, but that's because he's doing passes that the normal keeper can't do. He does things that out of the norm. So when it doesn't come off, it looks like it's terrible. But 90% of the time, he's pulling that off. He's still a great shot stopper. He still commands his box. A lot of the stuff about being a goalkeeper as well is not with the ball. He still leads his back line as well, and a keeper that they can rely on. So he's definitely still at the top of his game. He's not like as great as he once was, but then now neither is David De Gea, who is still a great keeper in my opinion too. So to say that he's not a top keeper is a bit out there. I think he's still definitely up there, one of the best. Have
the injuries affected him, Alex?
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, injuries affect most players anyway, but you could say so, especially with the fact that Ter Stegen's been pushing him a lot for the German starting role. So maybe that's playing into his head a little bit too. But he's still a top keeper, man. There's not many better out there than Manuel Neuer, in my opinion.
Cool. Josh, is he still at the top of his game for you?
Hell no. No, I'm kidding. The thing is, for me, I remember Neuer being so efficient. Neuer being the absolute German wall, Berlin Wall. No, too much. So like for me, I don't think he's at that level anymore, and I think he's dropped quite a bit because if you look at Bayern's runs in the Champions League, they've not really done anything for quite some time now. And maybe that's just a decline of the whole team. But like Alex was saying, Ter Stegen is really pushing it. Yeah, that guy, whatever, the hee-haw. It's all good. I don't care. He is really pushing them, and it's arguably you can say that he's Germany's number one now. And I just think Neuer does rash things at the moment. I would compare the decline to the way Pepe Reina sort of all of a sudden just started to decline, and it was shocking for all of us to see his decline so quickly. So, but yeah, I mean, is he terrible? No, he's not terrible, but he's not. He set such a high standard that he's not there anymore. He's gone down so much. So that's what I'd say.
Yeah, he's definitely not there, but he's still a top keeper, like one of the best in the world still. He's just not the best anymore.
Alisson beats him. You'd say Ter Stegen. Then I don't know any other goalkeepers after that. Just all right.
See?
I'm sure Louis does.
Look, if you name it, look. It's Alisson, Edison, Oblak, and Ter Stegen. Everyone else is in that bracket below.
So you name four.
And Neuer's like, what, top 5 then?
Yeah, but Neuer was number 1 at one point.
Exactly. So he's still a top keeper if you say he's top 5.
So he's fallen off then. You agreed with me then. That's nice to know. Yeah. Okay.
I think it's worth. Isn't it worth?
Agree.
It's worth pointing out that other top keepers who were around his age range at the time and sort of alleged to have been, the top keepers at the time, they've fallen drastically off the radar. I mean, the one that comes to my mind instantly is Joe Hart. Whether you reckon he was sort of a top class keeper or not, he's fallen off the radar. Can't even get a game at Burnley.
That's true.
As you said, Pepe Reina isn't even in the discussion for sort of a top 5 or top 10 keepers. Whereas I think we'd probably agree that Manuel Neuer could probably still make it into a top 7 or 8 list worldwide in European football. So
have some of that, Josh.
I guess we will see what the fans
they are family
have to say to that.
All right, we'll see if anyone comments in this video. We'll see who's better. If Neuer's still at the top of his game, or if he's not, then we'll see.
We'll leave it up to the fans then. Another player you guys were interested, who had a lot of focus before the game, and who didn't actually start, was Jadon Sancho. Let's forget transfer speculation where he potentially might end up next season. Is he as good a player as everyone is making out? Alex, is he the dog's bollocks, or is he just another Englishman who is going to be overhyped and probably turn out to be average?
His ability is unquestioned, I'd say. He's definitely up there with the top talents in the world, not just in England. But what I saw when he came on was that I know he's coming off injury and maybe he can't. It's a bit of a tricky one. But I saw someone that couldn't really be bothered. He was kind of strutting around the pitch as if he owned it, and they were losing at the time. So I didn't, all the dog work that you like to see from the top players. He wasn't doing any of that. So maybe it was just a one-off game as well, because I've watched Sancho play and he's a great player.
What about an assessment of his overall time and his overall career at Dortmund since he left City as a youngster?
Oh, he's done brilliantly. He's done exactly what he's wanted to do, in my opinion. Since leaving, he's established himself in a top team. He's now starting there. He's arguably their best player, and he's hot property. He could pick wherever he wants to go if he does want to move. Obviously, me and you, Josh, we know he may go. Most likely destination is United. So the fact that he can choose that at his young age shows that it was the best move for his career, 100%. But whether he's worth it or not is yet to be seen.
Fair enough. Josh, is all the hype justified, or
I think it is.
He just sort of roll out to be the next Michael Owen, Wayne Rooney, have a few good years, although Rooney did, I suppose you could argue there was longevity. There was longevity there.
I was going to say, you're going to put Rooney in there with Owen?
Is Jadon Sancho the saviour of English football?
I don't know if he's the savior of English football, because I think if you're looking at English football in total, I'm actually really quite hopeful for the next generation of English talent, because I look at Rashford. I think Rashford is only going to get better. I look at Sancho. Sancho's only going to get better, and then you got to put Sterling in there, who's Sterling under Pep has changed completely from.
He was England's best player. Yeah. He's England's best player.
He was a good talent. He was a good talent, and then he stepped up another gear. But
Shout
I mean,
out
if you look at someone
North West London boy.
But if you look at Sancho, he was disappointing in that game. But you got to think, is Sancho 20 years old or 19, 20? He's quite young boy, isn't he? So to expect him to take over a game like that, to expect him to take over a game like that against this Bayern machine is probably a bit too difficult to for him right now. And I think he does need a move to step up another level. I think he does need a move to play with better players. He cannot be the best player in a team. But he can be a coin of one or a part of one of the best players in his team, because he needs to learn how to win. Like even Messi. Messi came on the Barca scene at a young age, but he had giants around him: Ronaldinho, Eto'o, Thierry Henry. So he had time to grow and figure everything out. Whereas Sancho at the moment is just he's their best player. I mean, Haaland did come in. Royce has fallen off a little bit, but Sancho's doing everything for them. So I think it was a bit too much for him. And like Alex has said, he's coming off an injury. And I think if he does go to Manchester United, like I said last week, I think that puts them as our biggest threat. Assuming that Man City get the bad, obviously.
Not with Volley.
Yeah, that's
true.
That's a fair enough assessment, Josh. I think last note's just a note on Jadon Sancho. He's scored the most goals in Bundesliga history as a teenager. He's way ahead of the likes of Kai Havertz, Julian Brandt, Julian Draxler, and Timo Werner. His total goal involvement is well over sort of double of his nearest rivals. He's close to involved in about just under 60 chances and goals. His nearest rival is actually McNeil from Burnley, so that might surprise you. Who's in the, looks like just under 20s. Yeah. So and that's where we find a big mix of sort of young creative players in that sort of grouping. Let's move on anyway from the Bundesliga to couple of wild takes.
What's the wild take this year?
Wild
takes. Wild takes.
That's not the jingle. Can we slow down? Slow down 1 second. It's wild take.
We will end.
Now it's another wild take.
Yeah, we need a jingle. Not.
You need a jingle.
Not this. No one wants to hear this.
That was pretty amazing.
But yeah, what's the wild take, Louis?
Let's edit some music in for this segment. Roberto Firmino, is he fairly or unfairly criticised? Alex,
I have a stat for this.
Is he your favourite? He's your favourite player, and tell me why he is unfairly criticised.
Because the average football fan doesn't understand what Firmino does for Liverpool. Wow. It's a fact. They will look at Firmino.
Call me average, yeah?
They will look at Firmino and they'll see, oh, look, he's a number 9. He's a striker. Then they'll go on Google, whatever the hell they use, look at his goals, look at his assists, and his numbers won't be there for that. He's bang average. Salah and Mane have been carrying this guy the whole season. Blah, 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 blah. But Firmino is the ultimate player. He's the ultimate team player. Have you ever heard Jurgen Klopp say anything bad about Firmino? Ever? Never is the answer. Never, ever, ever. Firmino was one of the reasons Klopp's at Liverpool too. He is so unfairly criticised. It is a disgrace to football. It's a disgrace. Firmino he's arguably, if VVD weren't there in our team, I'd say he's our best player. He's our best player. Easy.
Wow. Josh, does Firmino score enough goals for you? Is some criticism justified?
And this is what it's all going to come down to, ladies and gentlemen, because I'm a big Bobby fan for sure. But the thing with Bobby Firmino is, especially this season, he scored 8 times after 29 matches this season. That makes him the 107th scorer in the Premier League so far. His conversion rate for shots to goal is 9.76. So he takes 9 shots to score 1 goal.
Invalid.
And should I tell you why it matters? Should I tell you why it matters? Because I'm not saying that. Obviously, he's an integral part for our team.
Please,
yes,
that's why it matters, please.
He's a great. He flows quite well in our team. He's important. He's one of the most important players in our team, without a shadow of a doubt. However, in those critical moments, and I'm going back to the Atletico Madrid game, in that Champions League game, yes, Adrian cost it for us, and yes, he did finally scored a goal for us, but he missed so many chances in that game. He could have scored like 2 or 3 goals in that game. We would have gone clear. So that's my problem with Bobby Firmino. And it's not even like I'm saying get Bobby Firmino out of the team. I'm not saying that. I'm saying drop him down to another role. And I think that's why if we do get Werner, it adds a different element to our team, because Werner goal conversion rate, I don't even have to look at it. I know it's better. So you put Werner up front, play Bobby in the number 10 role, and then put Mane and Salah on either side of them, and that's goals galore. That's an unstoppable
Bobby
machine.
is not in the team to score goals. He's not in the team to do that. So the fact that he gets put up with those stats is like, it doesn't make any sense.
No, but I'm not like, I feel that you're going away from the point here. I'm not saying he has to be a goal scorer. I'm saying he should score goals a little bit better than he does. 107th in the Premier League. I mean, what are we doing here?
It doesn't matter. We're 25 points clear.
9 shots.
Why does he have to do more? If Klopp is happy with the way he's working, why does he have to do more if we're 25 points clear in the league? Clearly, he's effective enough for us to win all these games.
Why did we get knocked out of the Champions League?
There's a number of things to say why we got knocked out of the Champions League. You can't put it down to Bobby Firmino.
Why did we lose that game against Atletico? Because we just weren't clinical.
A number of reasons. You can't put it down.
Because we weren't clinical.
You can't put it down to that.
You
can put it down to shoddy defending after a corner.
Yeah, but
you can put it down to shoddy defending after a corner as well.
Adrian made those mistakes. No, but after that, they scored in the first minute of that first game. We had another 89 minutes in that game, and then another 90 minutes to put them out. Come on, we missed too many chances.
Yeah, but so did Salah and Mane. Missed a load of chances in that game as well. It wasn't just Firmino. A bunch of people missed a bunch of chances. The only reason you're saying that is because Firmino's goals to game ratio is whatever it is. But that's not terrible. That's not the point. The point is over the season, his role is not to score goals. It's to link up the play, to do the dog work, to make the space for Salah and Mane to score the goals and do all the rest of it. If he gets goals and assists along the way, by all means, whatever it is. But his main role is not to do that. And the fact that we're 25 points clear, we've lost how many games this season? We lost 1 game in the league and against Atletico Madrid. And that's it. How can he be criticised about it if that's not his role? That's like saying Henderson and Wijnaldum should be scoring more because they play in midfield a bit further forward than Firmino.
but they don't score. They're not number 9s though, are they? But they're not number 9s though. And
so
what I'm saying,
Bobby's like a false 9.
Okay, so if he's a false 9, so he can drop back. He can drop back to number 10 role. He can play like the Wayne Rooney role to like a Carlos Tevez and Ronaldo then. Because what I'm saying to you is he needs to drop back, and then Werner needs to play as that lone striker role. Because Werner will be more clinical. The one criticism. So what would be the one criticism for Liverpool this season then? What would be the one criticism? Because defensively we've been solid. Our midfield has been a lot better this season. Because Jordan Henderson might win the player of the year. For a lot of people, he's their player of the year. So then what is the one weakness in our team?
Why does there have to be a criticism? I don't understand. We're 25 points clear. No team's perfect.
Okay, so where do we improve?
I think the fact is, I've heard this argument from opposition fans that Firmino doesn't make like their team, or he's the one weak link out of Liverpool, and it's always consistently stated that he doesn't score any goals. So that always does seem to be the criticism, which I think is one thing I noticed anyway among non-LFC fans. So whether it's fair or not that he is criticised, I don't know. But I think fact remains that there will always sort of be these sort of arguments. I think that another fact is that he is part of a devastating front three. unbeaten at home. That's 15 wins from 15. As Alex said,
There you
he
go.
lost once all
Matters.
season.
I'm looking for perfection,
But,
ladies and gentlemen.
There is no perfection.
He wants
There is no
perfection.
There is no perfection in football.
Perfection
That's
is
what
us
the
signing
average fan
Werner.
wants. Perfection. There is
Our perfection is
no.
us
It's not
signing Werner
perfection.
and then dropping Firmino
not
back to the number
perfection.
10 role, where you can do the same exact thing you can do, linking up play. Because Firmino never came to us as a striker. He came to us as a CAM. There you go.
Yeah. You don't even know, man. You
like
don't even know.
role.
You're an average football fan.
It should be like a Kaka role, isn't it? That's what I'm saying.
Get out of here.
Guys. I've got another one for you. Steve Nicol was quoted on ESPN
Oh, not another pundit.
regarding Xabi Alonso and Jordan Henderson. He said,
What did he say?
as great a footballer as Alonso was, I think the influence that Henderson has had on this team has been bigger than Alonso had. Listen, as football players, Alonso's a better technician than Jordan Henderson. I don't think that's in question. So it becomes the biggest impact. And I think no doubt Henderson's made a bigger impact in this Liverpool side than Alonso did for the Liverpool team he played for. I think the word influence is massive in this statement. I think I would probably say the fact that Jordan Henderson is a captain among a very talented group of players, packed with international players who themselves are leaders, is remarkable, and it speaks volumes for his achievement and his influence on the current team. What do you guys make of Steve Nicol's comments?
I'm going to jump in first.
I'll let Josh go first.
Yeah, I'll jump in first on this one.
See, I'll let you go because I'm a gentleman.
The reason why I agree with Steve Nicol on this one, yeah, so hear me out on this one. I agree with him only because if you look at Xabi Alonso's career at Liverpool, and I'm not talking about thereafter, because at Real Madrid, obviously I'd be like, Steve Nicol, what are you drinking? I'd like some. But in terms of his career at Liverpool, Alonso's first season was fantastic. Alonso's last season was fantastic. That was it. Whereas Jordan Henderson, you can say, this season alone, he's been so integral to our team. Integral? That's fine. He's been so amazing for our team that essentially I can agree with Steve Nicol. And then the last time we almost won the title, again, he was incredible for our team. And the moment that he got finished, that was an issue. And then again, even in our Champions League run last season, this whole club era, I'd say Jordan Henderson has stepped up every single time. Wherever time anyone's questioning Jordan Henderson, he's always stepped up and come to the table. So that shared leadership, I don't think Alonso would possess that. But technically, obviously, Alonso is a lot better.
Oof.
Alex, what you got for us on this quote?
It's apples and oranges. You can't really compare. You can't compare Alonso's influence with Henderson's because it's like Alonso, when he came in, there was Gerrard. So first off, he's never going to be captain, right? Henderson is the captain, and all these international players that have come in after him, so naturally he just stays as the captain. What Steve Nichols is saying about the impact, I don't see it, you know. I don't see. And what did you say, Josh? So Alonso's first season was great.
Yes.
And last season was great. And what in between wasn't good. So
in between,
what Henderson's?
Well, even talk to Rafa. Well, talk to Rafa about it, obviously, if you can. But
yeah,
even
I'll talk to Rafa. I'll give him a call right now.
Rafa didn't really rate Alonso like that. Let's be real. Let's be real about this. And maybe this is Rafa's fault. But even when he left, it was like,
he
why
wanted
did you sell it?
but he wanted
Exactly,
that dog work in midfielder. He didn't want the finesse that Xavi had.
That's what I'm saying. But
I don't know. You can't compare. I don't think you can compare. It's a bit of a wild statement. It's just another pundit trying to make a headline because he knows people are going to look at it and say, "Oh, Alonso and Henderson," and then they're going to go comparing them about their whatever it is.
And on that note, I think that's why we are sick of the pundits and giving it our take.
It's a load of rubbish, that statement, Alonso and Henderson. Why would you even compare them? It doesn't make any sense.
But then again,
just give me my Premier League.
But Jordan Henderson's going to captain a team where he's won the Super Cup, he's won a Champions League, he's going to win the Premier League, and what else has he won this season?
What's that got to do with Alonso?
The World Championship. What I'm saying to you,
to do with Alonso?
I'm a big Xabi Alonso fan, but I think Xabi Alonso became world class when he left Liverpool.
Nah, no.
100%.
No, what?
100%.
No,
100%.
no way.
100%. I saw him
Name a
pinball.
better passer about when he was at Liverpool. Who was a better passer than him?
Steven Gerrard.
Arguably at the time.
Steven
You
Gerrard.
can't even name many.
Steven Gerrard.
Okay, arguably.
No, not arguably.
Stevie.
Steven Gerrard.
There's not many. There's not many
Mascherano.
better out there than Xavi.
All right, guys. I think
Sissoko.
we're slightly straying off. We're slightly straying off here, so I think let's move it on. So that's enough for wild takes this week.
Bloody wild takes.
We've got an off-topic question this week, so it's non-football. So for any fans out there who just expect 100% football, we do like to broaden our sort of discussion points.
We're sick of all the pundits. All the pundits.
All of them.
So we're probably going to start on pundits on other sports. Sky Sports were running a article with regards I don't know I think you guys have watched the Netflix documentary The Last Dance.
I watched a lot of episodes. I've not finished
the
it
NBA.
Don't tell me how it ends.
Oh right.
You haven't finished it. You don't know how it ends.
6 episodes.
Okay.
All right. I think this is well known anyway, so we can probably discuss it. But Dennis Rodman was notorious for partying mid-season.
He's a legend.
During the playoffs, he went to Vegas for he needed to blow some steam. He's come back, had a great game, and he's won the Bulls' third title. Correct me if I'm wrong on the point where he did leave during the season. I think the question for this is: can this ever happen in football? Are footballers responsible enough to mid-season leave, go on holiday, blow off some steam, and then come back and pick up?
They do that though. Like they'll give them
from where they are. Alex, yeah.
Hasn't Klopp like given Salah a little break, like a little week break once as well? But they didn't go to the extent that Rodman went, as like he went to the WWE and started smashing heads and whatnot. But that's why he's a legend. But do you know what that is? That's excellent man management. That the average coach isn't letting their player do that because they think it's going to affect their game, blah blah blah. And even in one of the other episodes, they went on a golf trip prior to the finals, and Jordan was saying how, normally if it was any other coach, we would have been in practice and we would have been tired, but coach here, he's given us a chance to relax, recuperate, get our minds right, ready for the series. So it's all about the coach, man. You've got to have a good coach to understand the player.
Quickly interject there, actually. Jamie Carragher felt that there was a risk and reward approach, so he sort of agreed with what you said, Alex, and pointed towards his world-class management skills of the superstar players. And then, obviously, in hindsight, it was proven with the success that he achieved whilst coaching the Bulls. Graham Souness felt that everyone needs to be treated equally.
Oh, there you go.
He was quoted as saying Kenny Dalglish and himself were the biggest people in the dressing room, but if they didn't do the business, they'd be spoken to exactly the same way as a young player who was coming through the team. Josh, should players be allowed to party during the season? If hypothetically, if you were manager of Liverpool, there's 10 games of the season to go. We're marginally leading the Prem by about 3 or 4 points. We're in the quarterfinals of the Champions League, the FA Cup. Trent Alexander and Andy Robertson ask you, can they go to Ibiza to blow off some steam for a few days? Are you letting them go?
Nah, no chance. Not even.
The way you worded it as well. Can you imagine the headlines? Oh my God.
It's not going to happen.
They would get ripped.
What about Dubai? Would you let them go there? It's relaxing.
Definitely not Dubai as well. No, do you know what I think it is? I think it's one of those ones where the 90s was something else. I mean, I was born in that decade, and I think Louis was like 40 at that time, so he knows exactly what was going on in the 90s. And it's just like
Louis was like 40 in the 90s.
Yeah. So like it's just like a different era for people. So essentially, I don't think you can get away with that now. I think just the nature of the players now, you have to be so fit. It's just not a possibility. But then again, you look at what Paul Pogba's doing. Maybe you can get away with it, but it's horses for courses, isn't it? Top players now, I don't think they would even engage in doing things like that. I think Dennis Rodman at the time, the Bulls were the best team in the world. They had the best player in the world. I think it's different. So and the coach, I can't remember his name, it's just gone out of my head. He knew what he was doing in terms of Phil Jackson. Sorry, he knew what he was doing in terms of like his man management was incredible. And even if you look at Steve Kerr, who was a player under Phil Jackson, who did well with the Warriors, did exceptionally well with the Warriors. Like he took a lot of his traits, and he actually quotes Klopp saying that his players were fucking giants. Just connecting it back to Liverpool like I always do. So going off on a tangent, I definitely wouldn't let them go out. No, because it's just a different era now. It's a different era. Players can't get away with that.
Do you know what else as well? You know, in the British media, those types of players, black players, would get ripped if 100%. They ever done such a thing. I don't think that's the same case that it is in America. On that side of the media, they lift the sporting guys up a lot. Anything in England, not really. Not as much. All right, then. Let's say that in England, all the media knows is to knock down players, knock down the national team for whatever reason they can find, and that's not the case in America. I don't think.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I think Neymar tends to, like, at various times during the season, sort of just leave.
He does whatever he wants.
Go back to Brazil. During carnival season, this doesn't seem to affect his game. How would you react to that?
He's in a farmers league, that's why.
Exactly, he's in a farmers league. On top of that as well, it has affected his game. Neymar's done virtually nothing since he left Barcelona. Let's be honest about it. The thing that I look at Neymar,
he's won the league.
Yeah, but I can win that league playing with PSG. Come on now.
That's a wild take.
Maybe not you.
I could. But maybe not me, let's be honest. But I look at it and I don't think that, even in FIFA I might struggle. No, because you look at Neymar and let's be honest, he's not really his whole glitz and glam is the reason why I don't think he's gone there. I think he's digressed a lot. Like if you look at top three players, all the time it was Messi, Ronaldo, and then Neymar's coming in. But I don't think you had that. You don't have that anymore. You don't say that anymore. No one's saying that. Not for the last couple of years.
I don't think that's at detriment to his ability, though. It's more so at where he is playing. So I don't think he's actually gotten worse. I just think that because he's playing at PSG in a West League.
But then
that's
he
why
was
there's portrayed that he's bad. But I reckon if he came to the Prem, he'd rip it. I reckon he'd be sick.
I don't know, man.
I'd love to see Neymar in the Prem.
He was brought to the Premier.
Could he do it on a cold Tuesday night at Stoke?
Of course not. You'd be in Brazil. You'd be at the next carnival.
Exactly. Well, even if you look at some of the Manchester players, didn't Carlos Tevez complain about it was raining all the time?
He was sick.
Exactly. So Tevez, I don't know, man. But I don't think Neymar. I think Neymar is one of those examples where I think he cares a little bit too much about the glitz and the glam, and that's affected his game. So.
That's all Brazilians, though, isn't it? Don't you think, Louis? All Brazilians like that. They go down that route where the money and the fame.
Fernandinho. Brazilian hater. Brazilian hater.
Oh, you're giving Fernandinho as an example. But look, like the high-profile ones, Ronaldinho.
Yeah, Ronaldo sort of did follow that.
Roberto Firmino.
They all petered off. Robinho, as well.
Roberto Firmino.
They petered off.
Roberto Firmino petered off.
That guy's at the top of his game, man.
I agree with you.
Okay, guys, I think we'll probably wrap it up there. Where can people listening to this find you guys on the socials, Alex?
Instagram, Dookie1992, Twitter, Dookie92. Check out the first podcast as well. It was posted on the 30th. Give that a listen. We'll be doing this every week hopefully with better jingles than Josh is singing and better intros
Wow,
than what this
Tig.
podcast was. But yeah, that's me for the socials.
Josh?
Yeah, so our social media page is Sick of the Pundit, because we couldn't get the other S, don't worry about it. And that's the same for Instagram, and that's the same for Twitter, YouTube as well. So we'll be posting it on our Twitter, and just have a peep at that, and then you'll get to see all the episodes that we have.
Perfect. If anyone wants to give me any criticism or compliments, I'll accept them both equally. Louis M2 on the Twitter and Instagram. But yeah, happy to take any input really, and any topics that anybody would like to hear us discuss. We are more than happy to take on any opinions suggested to us. But hopefully everyone out there is still staying safe, and hopefully, unfortunately, with the return of football, it shouldn't be as boring as it was a couple of weeks ago. But yeah, thanks guys. I hope you guys have a good evening and a good
weekend.
start to next week. Have a good rest of the weekend, guys.
See you.
Sick of the Pundits, we are out.